Hey guys, the Player V. I just finished watching the Microsoft E3 2014. Um, so I was just gonna give my thoughts and feelings and everything. So we're gonna go game by game and just talk about what happened. So Microsoft this year really stepped up the ball when it comes to E3. Last year it was with all the big problems and everything, but it was a fresh year. So Microsoft was like, all right, we're gonna go in there. He had Phil Spencer talking about how they're going more into the games and they're going to stick on games. So right away they started with Call of Duty. I wrote notes, so just gonna go think. Call of Duty surprised me this year. I dropped Call of Duty when Ghost came out. I was done with it. A little before that, like I just stopped playing Call of Duty in general. Um, but this Call of Duty looks really interesting. It's Call of Duty Advanced Warfighter. It's not exclusive. They're gonna have exclusive. They're gonna have first DLC and stuff like that. Um, so Advanced Warfighter, they showed, was it like 3, 4, 5 minutes of gameplay. Looks pretty good. Um, Graphics look a lot better. I noticed the face models look really well, um, which is surprising for a Call of Duty game. But I mean, it looks really good. They showed some gunplay. It's a lot more like Halo now, and I noticed that. And I don't know if the Halo fans are gonna. I mean, the Call of Duty fans are gonna like that. I personally thought it looked amazing. Showing off new something like that really got me into like wanting to play the new game. They show. Let's see. So it started off with like this ODST drop, and it was interesting because they were looking up and they were really looking down at the thing. So it was a lot like Halo with the ODST drop. They landed. There was like number on the gun that said how much ammo you have. He wasn't reloading the gun. He was just like unheating the gun. Um, the grenades were different. Like you would press the grenade and it would change what type of grenade it is. It would cycle through it. Um, 1 second. Um, what else did they show off? They showed basic gunplay. They showed some mechs. The vehicles look like Pelicans from Halo. The ships. It was really looks like Halo. Um, they showed like a spider tank walking over the trenches. They showed more gunplay. They showed a laser rifle shooting just a beam of laser. Um, they showed EMP grenades. They showed stealth camo, stuff like that. So it's a lot of inspiration from Halo, and some people might not like that. We're super futuristic now, but I like it. It looks, like a different Call of Duty. I'm interested to see how the online is gonna work. They didn't really talk about if that type of features will go online, because sometimes in Call of Duty games they have stuff that's on single player but not on multiplayer. So they had things like jetpacks and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, it looks really well. They didn't give a release date, but I believe it's November. So don't quote me on that, but I believe it's November. Also, I was questioning if Gore was back because he loses his arm at the end of the trailer. Now, if Gore is back, that'd be interesting for Call of Duty. Now, when I was talking to my friend watching it, he said it might just be cinematic, where it's just for the single player. It just could be true, but we will see what happens. So, um, after that, it came out and talked about Forza. They're bringing back the Nürburgring, I don't know, whatever. I'm not really a driving game type person, but so they showed that, and that's free today right away, so that's good. Then they showed off Forza Horizon 2. They showed off some new cars, some Lamborghini. Again, not really into driving games. Let's see. They talked about it's going to be 1080, and they talked about it's going to be 1080p. Now, they didn't talk about if it was going to be 60 frames per second, because the Xbox One has a hard time doing that. So we'll see. I mean, I know they talked about 1080p, so I mean that's good. So that is September 30th is coming out, which is really soon for a game that's just announced at E3. So I was very like confused that they like would announce this game at E3 and it's coming out so soon. Um, Also had an issue where it looked like there was no drivers in the car. The car was just driving themselves. I noticed that as a nitpick because when the door opened, there was no one in it. Um, They showed drifting and stuff like that, which my friend who played Forza said that there was a complaint with the last Forza that you couldn't drift. So I guess that's a thing. They talked about 1,000 people per club, like you can have 1,000-player car club or something like that, which I guess they're adding that to compete with Drive Club. 200 cars, and it's open world, so I mean it looks pretty good for a driving game, I guess. Talk about the day and night and the weather changes and dynamic stuff like that. Then 2K came out and they showed off more Evolved. That Xbone is going to have exclusive DLC and stuff like that for it. It's the Left 4 Dead game that has to do with there's a team of 4 versus one guy who plays as the Big Bad Monster. There's gameplay out for it. From what I understand, from when I watched the Two Best Friends and they were talking about it, it has a lot to do, like, it's a lot like Left 4 Dead, but instead of 4 enemies, it's 1 enemy, and they're always the tank, and instead of like a 2-minute tank battle, it's like a 20-minute tank battle. So I mean, it's really interesting. There's gameplay out of it. It looks pretty good. It's not exclusive though. It's gonna have an exclusive DLC. Ubisoft came out and showed Assassin's Creed Unity. First Assassin's Creed that's gonna be 4-player co-op. 4-player co-op looked fun. I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan, and it looked just like every other Assassin's Creed to me. I don't know. Like maybe it's just because I'm not into Assassin's Creed in any way, but to me it looked just like any other Assassin's Creed. So. Take it as you will. Also, I had a question about the... it looked like split screen. Now, it might have been done just to show each player's perspective in the game, but it looked like 4-player split screen. Now, if it's 4-player split screen, that's nice, because with the Xbox, it has up to 8-player connection on one system, and there's no game out there that uses it. So it'd be nice to see some split screen on the Xbox, so I like that. Next they showed Dragon Age Inquisition, which is not an exclusive also. Graphics look pretty good. It's nice to see a Western RPG coming to Xbox. They had a couple of RPGs in this event, and it's nice to see RPGs. Also, October 7th was the Dragon Age release date. So there's gameplay out for that. You can look. It's a mix between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age, I think it was 2. Where it's like it's still tactic based, but then your characters control like an action game. So then they showed Sunset Overdrive, which was a cinematic. Well, it's interesting they showed a cinematic in the beginning because it was making fun of like first person shooter bullshit and stuff like that. But I mean, the reason I find it weird that they would show a cinematic is because there's gameplay out of it. Like you could just go see it, but it started with I was like, we don't really care about cinematics. And then they showed some gameplay. They talked about the character customization, which was a big deal because a lot of people wanted to know about that. Because some people didn't like how the characters looked, but since it's all fully customizable, that's great. What I'm hearing, it's like Jet Set Radio and Tony Hawk, so I mean, it's a pretty good exclusive, and one of the exclusives that really interested me on the Xbox. Let's see. Next, they talked about Fantasia from Harmonix. This game was announced a long time ago. It was going to be on the original Kinect. Apparently, they had some problems financially because of how Rock Band really was saturated and cost a lot of money, and they lost a lot of money. But this game was announced a long time ago, and now it's being brought into new light on the Kinect for the Xbone and for the original 360. So again, it's nice to see a game on the Kinect. So we'll see what happens. Then they showed Fable Legends 2, because if I believe correctly, Fable Legends 1 was an Xbox Live Arcade game for the 360, and it was like a cartoony version where they had classic heroes. They had Jack of Blades. They had the heroes from Fable 2 and stuff like that. Now, I can't tell if it's an RPG or an action game, because the original Fables, the numbered ones, are very mix of RPG and action games. Really, the first one's a real, like, deep RPG. It's not deep, but it's a very interesting RPG that has the elements of an RPG, where the part 2 and 3 were really more action games, and you would kind of level up, where Part 3 was like not even an RPG, where you would go through a linear path through leveling up and stuff. So we'll see how that is. I'm not sure. They didn't say. If I believe Legends 1 was an action game, so there's that. You can play as the villain. Now, there's a game on Steam that's like this, where it's 4 heroes and 1 guy controlling the map and putting areas down, like traps and stuff. I forgot what the game's called. Check in the description. I'll put the name of the game. But there's a game like that already, and they acted like it was very inventive and stuff. It's new for a Fable game, but it's not new to the game industry. So it's not like they talked a lot about this in the Microsoft thing, where it was like new inventive ways of multiplayer and stuff. And I mean, they always give that lingo and stuff, but it's never new. There's always games that've done it before. So they should say it's a new take on the multiplayer in this franchise, not in the world of multiplayer. You know, it's just a nitpick of mine. It looks okay, but like, I'm not sure if it's an arcade game or is it going to be a full game. Now, they said there's going to be a beta, I believe, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Don't quote me. No release date for that either. All these games are coming out this year, so far. So. They showed Project Spark, which is staying Project Spark. Project Spark's interesting, where it's not a game, it's a tool. It's a toolbox game. Much like Minecraft or Gary's Mod, where you create the game. So they had an example of like you're fighting a monster as a regular action game, or you're playing checkers and stuff. So it's a toolbox game where, yeah, it's a toolbox game and uses the Kinect. We saw it last year, but last year was more of an action game, where this year they're showing a lot more different types of games. It looks interesting. I like the toolbox games. It brings a lot of creativity to the system. And it's nice to see that they're wielding the Kinect in some way that's interesting and fun. They trolled Conquer, which is terrible. It's such a tease of Microsoft to do something like this, where they know people want a new Conquer. Just like they wanted Killer Instinct and stuff, they wanted a new Conquer's Bad Fur Day. And they didn't do that. They showed Conquer, and everyone got really excited that it was going to be a new Conquer game that we're going to show right at the end, because Rare was making it. But no, he's just going to be a character in the game, and it's not nice to, it's not good to troll something like that. He's going to be in the game as a playable character, I guess, and whatever. So you're going to see a lot of furries. They showed a new indie game, Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, it's one of those games where there won't be words. It's very indie, you can tell, very emotional, very black and whitish, very not too colorful, very grim. In the trailer, one of the characters dies, so I guess spoilers for the game already. One of the characters dies and it looks really sad, and it got really emotional, and no words were said, and it shows how you can have emotion in a character where the character is just pushing them and stuff and trying to talk to them. So, I mean, it's interesting. I like the indie game. It looks really cool, so we'll get word of that when it comes out. Then they talked about Halo. Pretty interesting. They talked about Halo right in the middle, which was something I thought they were going to hold off to the end. It was either going to be Halo or Call of Duty or Gears of War that they would show off the end, but they didn't. They talked about Halo Master Chief Collection. Now, in the trailer they showed, it was the Halo 2 cinematic. So I was thinking that was going to be Halo 2 HD. Interesting that they would show Master Chief in his classic armor. I mean, in his new armor. I don't like his new armor. I do not like it. Halo 5's new armor looks terrible. Looks god-awful. Looks nothing like the Chief. It's a blue visor. He's skinnier and leaner. He doesn't look like the Chief anymore. I do not like the direction they're going with. Master Chief is supposed to be a big green tank. Yeah, but now he's slick. He looks like, it's like RoboCop they did to him. Now, they did show the Arbiter at the end of that trailer, which got me excited. The Arbiter is a very, very cool character, and it's nice to see him back in Halo 5. So, they're talking about the Master Chief Collection. It's going to have 1 through 4. Halos 1, 2, 3, and 4. Halo 1 is the anniversary one. They're completely anniversarizing the second one. It's going to be coming out October. It's going to get the complete HD, like, everything that they did for Anniversary. It's going to have the original multiplayer from each of the games completely on dedicated servers. It's going to be remakes of some Halo 2 maps. They didn't say all of them, they said all 2 of them. But all the maps will be in the game. So they said over 100 maps. They got the game running to 1080p on 60 frames, which is very surprising because it's very hard for the Xbox to do that. Dedicated servers. The same, they're saying it's the same exact way that it's going to be from when the classic games were out. Very nice. I like that. A lot of people are excited about that. It comes with Nightfall. Not interested in it. I don't care. Some TV show shit. I don't care. Let's see. Then in December, they're going to have the Halo 5 beta right from that game. So if you have that game, you can play the beta, which is always cool. Halo 5, they're going to show off new game modes and new Spartan abilities. So Spartan abilities are back, just like in, what was it? No, ODST and, what was that one? Halo Reach with the Spartan abilities. Unless that was in Halo, I never played Halo 4, so. The one thing they didn't talk about was a price. No price at all. They didn't say a price for the game. $60 maybe. But for something so new, I could see it even being like $80. So we'll see if that gets announced. Phil Spencer comes out with a Limbo shirt. So I was like, oh great, Limbo 2. And they talked about how it premiered on the Microsoft system. So I was like, Limbo 2. Then they showed this game. Let's see. These are the games that are coming out in 2015. They showed off Inside. Inside looks like a very Nazi game. Like, it's the first thing I thought of, like an Auschwitz type game, where there's people marching, there's like, you have to stay in line and stuff like that. There was burning stuff in the background, very black, dark game, very like Limbo. So it's interesting that they would do that. So it looks like a Nazi game. It's gotta be something like that. But we'll see. It looks very dark, very grim, very interesting indie game. I still thought it was Limbo 2, but it's called Inside. So. They talked about how they were all about indie games, and they're full of it, because last year they were not, and now they changed their policy. So, they showed a bunch of indie games. I have the stream playing right now from Twitch on my PlayStation 4. They're showing like Earthlock and Roundabout and all these weird indie games. Most of these are not going to be exclusive. Golf Club, what's this? Planet, Lifeless Planet, you know, little indie games. Siegecraft. They're showing this stuff now, and this wasn't shown at the thing. Vector Unit. What else? So it's like some kind of racing game. Green Lava Studios is making Fex Rebel, something like that. They showed a bunch of really quick stuff, and I get to note them all down. I noted down the important ones that I saw, which were 2, and that was Cuphead, which looks very cool. It's in the design of classic Disney cartoons. Very nice. Love to see that game more. Hopefully it's not exclusive. And Mighty Number 9, which is not exclusive. It's going to be on the DS. It's going to be on PlayStation 3 and the 360. It's going to be on this gen. It's going to be on PC. Everyone wants Mighty Number 9. And I'm surprised they showed it, really, because it's a very early build of the game. But it's very nice to see Mighty Number 9 on stage. Great job. Inafune, you keep making that game. They showed off a new Tomb Raider trailer. I knew it was Tomb Raider right away, because kind of obvious. When she hit the rock, she made the same scream noise, like the same impact sound. So yeah, new Tomb Raider game. Don't like the name. The name is stupid. It's a very, very stupid name for, what is it? Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's terrible, god-awful name. Terrible name. Hate it. Hate the name. Love the new, they kept the new design of Laura. Love that. She's still not Biggie McChesty, so great, nice to have. It showed Witcher 3, another RPG. Nice to see another RPG in the system. I'm not a fan of the Witcher series. It's too slow for me. I like very classic JRPGs. That's my taste in RPGs, turn-based, stuff like that. Like, I'm a fan of, like, PS1 era RPGs and stuff like that. But I never did like the Witcher series. They showed a battle with a griffin and stuff, and the tracking system. It's going to be open world. I believe that's exclusive. I'm not sure. The Tomb Raider game is not exclusive, by the way. So yeah. They had subtitles above the enemies' heads, which is a little thing, but I like that. And they also, it's a lot like Monster Hunter now and stuff. And it's going to be a huge open world. And they showed this scene where he saves this girl, and it was so obvious that in the game you're going to be able to fuck her. And it was so obvious because she gave him the eye and everything. And I'm like, just show it. Come on, stop hiding it. Ken Lobb came out to the Killer Instinct music, and I was like, great. Season 2. Loving it. Let's go. Show me Season 2 of KI. And they did it. He talked about TJ Combo for a second, so I don't know if they're showing TJ Combo, if I missed the news on that. I don't know. But he showed Phantom Dust, which was an original Xbox, I believe, fighting game. I don't know much about it. I just know that it was one of those games that people wanted for the original Xbox, so we'll see where that goes. I'll look up more on it later to see what it looks like. They showed more of The Division, which I'm really, really into. That is really good looking game. They have other gameplay demos out there already. They have a graphics engine demo where they show how lighting and damage effect works. It's a co-op, like, MMO survival type game. They showed a battle with AI, which at first I thought was other players, but it's not. The people he's playing with do seem like other players. It seemed like a very multiplayer game. I knew right away it looked like a co-op game where I could see my friends playing with me. Where it's like, yeah, let's go do this and that, let's go to the base and stuff. And it was very... it's like Ubisoft knows this is how a multiplayer game should be, where people are talking and chatting and having fun and stuff like that. Very interested in the game. All these games now are 2015. Phantom Dust, Witcher, Tomb Raider, Cuphead, Mighty Number 9. This is all 2015, by the way. They showed a Melee section in The Division, so I guess Melee might be confirmed as a system other than just guns. They showed the Platinum Only game. What's his name? Hideki Kamiya came out. Hideki Kamiya, famous for making Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and stuff like that. He came out in Wonderful 101. He came out, showed the new game, Scalebound. I'm not sure if it's an action game. Looks like it. You get to ride a dragon or something. All cinematic, so we don't know yet. Character looks a lot like DMC character, the new one. And I mean, it looks fun. Maybe it looks like a Monster Hunter game to me. It looks like Monster Hunter Platinum style, so we'll see where that goes. And then the last game they showed, which is interesting, which I didn't think they should have ended on, it's Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 looks like it's gonna have the old character designs from Crackdown 1. It's the original creator making it. Crackdown 2 had the like anamorphic robot face thing, where it wasn't that good. Crackdown 2 looks interesting. The cinematic they showed, again, not gameplay, cinematic they showed looked like a Crackdown where people would throw 1,000 bombs at a truck or blow something up. Couple questions on that one were, is it destructible environments now? A lot of this stuff looked destructible from the cinematic. I guess they're emphasizing that, where he blew up a building, the dude drove up the building, blew up the other building, blew up a part of the building, went into the other building, the building crumbled, a lot of building destruction. So I have to wonder if it's going to be destructible environments. Now again, I'm doing this right after watching this stuff, so if any of my information's out of date, it's because this is done directly after this. This is supposed to be my feelings or reactions for everything. Gonna be co-op, gonna be multiplayer, gonna be open world. So, that was the Microsoft stuff. I felt like they were really strong this year. They had a lot of emphasis on the games. They showed a couple exclusives. They showed off actually a lot of exclusive. I feel like. Oh, they showed off the Dead Rising, Capcom thing. Hilarious. Get that. If you have an Xbox, you should get the Dead Rising like Ultra Super Arcade EX Alpha, whatever the hell. It was so hilarious. There's so many tiny references. Like they had Ryu doing his Ultra one. They had Felicia in it doing Cat Scratch. They had just a bunch of little references. It's amazing. I love it. I can't wait to rewatch the trailer. Really cool. I love that they did that. Really, really cool. Brings back the funniness of it all. And that's about it. I feel like Microsoft did a good job. They showed off more games. They're trying to get past that whole. They didn't talk about the Connectless bundle. They didn't talk about any of that. They showed off 2 Connect games and they left it as that. They didn't want to focus on it. They wanted to focus on core games. I really like that. They showed off some exclusives, some first party. They showed off a couple new IPs, but the new IPs were really like old IPs they're rehashing. I saw one. I think the only new IP was Project Spark, the Fantasia game, Sunset Overdrive, and the Platinum game. Those are the only ones that I saw with new IPs. I mean, there are a lot, but most of them aren't coming out anytime soon, so we'll see. I did like it. A lot better than last year's. So after this one, I believe is the EA press conference. I'll be doing a video on that. And yeah, pretty good. My only issue with it was the ending. It ended on such a like it started off high, Call of Duty Halo, and it kind of tapered off. And ending with Crackdown, it's not really something I would have done. I would have ended with the Call of Duty trailer and stuff. I would have opened up with Halo, ended with Call of Duty. But yeah, really, really cool. Really good. Wish it had a stronger ending. Like real, I wanted to see Gears. Gears would have been a good way to end it. Like most people thought. They had the Gears logo at the end when they showed it, but no Gears of War game. So yeah. So anyway, this is the Player V, guys, and I'll be doing the EA one. Write any comments in below if you have any information that is being brung out as thing, and tell me how you guys felt about the Microsoft press conference. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.